In this video, we will demonstrate how to install and configure the Schlage CTE controller. After watching this video, you will be able to find an appropriate location to mount the CTE, connect wires for the card reader, locking device, and power supply, and test all connections prior to commissioning the CTE to your Engage account. These are the tools you will need. Prior to installation, confirm that your power source will be sufficient for your devices. The CTE can be powered by Power over Ethernet, or PoE, PoE Plus, or a UL-listed 12 or 24 volt DC power supply. The CTE can provide power to the included credential reader and to the three outputs labeled Lock Relay, Alarm Relay, and Aux Relay. To ensure you have sufficient power for your devices, identify the total number of amps that your power supply provides and subtract 0.2 amps for the CTE and 0.3 amps for the credential reader. The leftover amps can be shared among devices connected to the three output relays, up to a limit of 2 amps. See the table in the instruction sheet for more information. Determine the appropriate location to mount the CTE. The CTE must be installed indoors in a secure location. Depending on your system setup, this could be an electrical closet, server room, or in the ceiling above the opening. For best wireless performance, the CTE should not be mounted on a metal surface or positioned within 1 inch of any metal. The wireless signal will not pass through metal walls or metal mesh in the walls. If you are unsure of the building construction, consult your facility manager. Determine where wiring will enter the CTE enclosure. Holes can be drilled only in the area beneath the circuit board on the bottom, back, or sides. Drill a hole for the wires, using caution not to contact any electrical components. Mark and drill 4 holes with the 9/32 inch bit that correspond to the 4 CTE mounting holes, as shown. Then secure the CTE with appropriate fasteners for your wall type. Please note, do not apply power to the CTE until all wiring connections are complete. Use caution not to touch the surface of the CTE circuit board. Electrostatic discharge could damage the circuitry and cause intermittent operation or component failure. Wire the included credential reader to the RS-485 reader connection on the CTE. Connect the pink wire from the reader to data A and the tan wire from the reader to data B. Then, connect the red wire from the reader to power 12V and the black wire from the reader to power GND. Connect the shield wire from the reader to the line negative connection on the CTE, as shown. To determine proper wiring of your locking device to the lock relay output on the CTE, consult the CTE user guide and the wiring guide from your locking device. The wiring, either normally open or normally closed, and dry or powered, will be dependent on the locking device you intend to use. In this example, a 12-volt DC fail-secure electric strike is used. Therefore, it is wired to the powered, normally open terminal. Please note, relay output wiring must use a dedicated shielded cable. Do not run relay output wiring in the same cable as any other CTE wiring. See the user guide for more information. Next, connect any input switches to be used, such as request to exit and door position. Please note that there are only 2 connection points for each switch. Normally closed and normally open are handled by the selector switches above the inputs. Connect the 2 wires from each switch to the corresponding points on the inputs terminal. If you are using line power, connect your power supply to the 2-pin power connector. Ensure that the power supply is off prior to making this connection. In this example, a Schlage PS902 is used, which can accommodate the power needs of the CTE, the credential reader, and the electric strike. Turn your power supply on, then plug the power connector into the CTE to power it on. The CTE will flash green during startup. The LED next to your power type will illuminate in the Power section. When the main LED flashes green once more and then remains red, the power on is complete. Prior to commissioning the CTE to your Engage account, we recommend testing the wiring connections. To test the credential reader, press the Schlage button, then press the FDR button twice. The reader should beep and flash the LED. Test the locking device by pressing the Lock button above the lock relay connection. The LED above the relay should illuminate, and the lock should energize. Repeat, if necessary, with the alarm relay and aux relay outputs. Test each input by actuating the switch connected to it. For example, pressing the push pad for request to exit, or opening and closing the door for door position. The amber light above the switch will illuminate when active. If you find that any input has an LED on when the switch should be inactive, for example, if the DPS LED is on when the door is closed, flip the selector switch above it to the other position. The best practice for wiring and configuring inputs is to complete the wiring, put the door in a secure position, then flip the selector switch above any LEDs that are on. When all LEDs are off, the inputs are wired correctly. Once the CTE is installed and connected, use the Engage mobile app to commission the CTE to your Engage account. During commissioning, be sure to select the appropriate options for your relay outputs. The lock, alarm, and aux relays must be configured during commissioning. See the user guide for more information. For assistance, contact customer care at 877-671-7011.